When police unzipped the Hello Kitty doll, they weren't prepared. Inside, the plush smile was a human skull. A child's toy used to mask horror. This is the real-life nightmare of Fan Man-yee. A woman who struggled to build a life, only to be destroyed by monsters hiding in plain sight. This is not just a murder. This is one of the most disturbing crimes in modern Hong Kong history. In a city of glittering neon, fast money, and packed skyscrapers, you wouldn't expect a child's toy to hold a secret so gruesome, so haunting, it would terrify even the most seasoned detectives. But in 1999, inside a cramped Kowloon apartment, a Hello Kitty doll didn't just smile, it screamed. Hong Kong in the late 1990s was on edge. The British had handed it back to China. Triads were growing stronger. The economy was booming for some, but others, like Fan Man-yee, lived in shadows. She wasn't born into crime. She was born into abandonment. Fan's early life was a story that repeated across thousands of forgotten children in Hong Kong. Born in 1976 and left behind by her family, she was thrown into the city's overcrowded orphanage system. There were no lullabies, no birthdays, no warmth, just steel beds, numbered uniforms, and a brutal lesson. If you want to survive, no one else will do it for you. By 15, she had aged out of the system, thrust onto the streets, no education, no home, no safety net. Addiction found her quickly. The city's underbelly embraced her with open arms. She became just another girl on Temple Street, doing what she had to, just to eat. She sold her body. She lived on scraps. But here's where her story should have changed, because Fan tried. She went clean. She met a man, got married, gave birth to a son. She found a job as a nightclub hostess, legal work, still in the nightlife scene, but with rules. She was proud of her paycheck, of staying sober, of keeping her son fed. She smiled again. But poverty is a trap. One wrong step, one late payment, one bad night, and it all can collapse. That collapse came in the form of Chan Man-lok, older, wealthy, charismatic in a way that only predators are, a mid-level triad member with a reputation for cruelty, masked by silk shirts and expensive watches. Fan owed him money, not much, a few thousand Hong Kong dollars. She made a mistake. She stole it back. But she returned it. She begged. She apologized. What she didn't realize is that Chan wasn't after repayment. He was after dominance, revenge, entertainment. In his world, weakness wasn't forgiven. It was punished. And Fan Man-yee had just been marked. In the neon haze of Hong Kong's underworld, danger didn't always wear a mask. Sometimes it wore a tailored suit and smiled. That's how Fan Man-yee met Chan Man-lok, a man twice her age, polished, connected, rich. But behind that exterior, something far darker. Chan wasn't just a nightclub regular. He was a known figure in the Wo-shing-wo triad, a man with power, drugs, girls, and cruelty in his veins. He noticed Fan during one of her hostess shifts. She was trying to keep her head down, make money, go home to her son. But Chan saw something else, a target. Fan owed him money, a small debt from a drug relapse, 20,000 Hong Kong dollars. She paid it back, begged for forgiveness, thought it was over. But Chan didn't just want money. He wanted obedience. He wanted control. And when Fan refused his advances, he decided to make her an example. Revenge wasn't rushed. He waited, watched, planned. Then, one day, Fan Man-yee disappeared. On March 17, 1999, Fan Man-yee vanished. No alert, no search party, just silence. She'd been abducted, snatched from the stairwell of her own building. Behind it all, Chan Man-lok, and with him, 2 accomplices. Lung Wai-lun, a triad lackey, and Lung Xing-choi, a drug-addicted drifter. Both owed their loyalty to Chan and feared him. There was one more person in the group, a 14-year-old girl, abused, groomed, now caught in a nightmare she didn't fully understand. They took Fan to a rundown building in Kowloon, 31 Granville Road, 4th floor, apartment 3. Inside, nothing but peeling walls, cigarette butts, and roaches. No bed, no comfort, just ropes, and a metal bar bolted to the ceiling. That's where Fan would spend the next 30 days. Suspended like she was beaten, degraded, stripped of everything human. The men laughed, played video games, took drugs, then turned their attention to Fan again and again. The 14-year-old girl later said, "They tortured her for fun. We stopped feeling anything, even when she cried. The walls didn't echo, the neighbors didn't knock, and no one came to save her, because no one was looking." For 1 month, Fan was held captive. They tortured her for pleasure. She was beaten with metal rods, burned with hot wax and melted plastic, forced to drink engine oil, fed only feces and urine, hung from the ceiling like a punching bag. Her body was broken. Her bladder failed, and she wasn't able to move. Her cries became whispers. Then silence. The 14-year-old girl would later testify, "We laughed when she begged for help." The apartment was filled with screams, but outside, life went on. Sometime in April, Fan died. Not from one blow, but from exhaustion, infection, starvation. Her killers weren't done. They wanted to erase her completely. They dismembered her body, boiled the remains to slow decomposition, flushed some parts, threw others in the trash. And her skull? It was sewn inside a Hello Kitty mermaid doll, a twisted trophy. Evil, wearing a smile. The killers thought they got away with it, but guilt doesn't sleep. The 14-year-old girl began having nightmares. She claimed Fan's ghost was visiting her, screaming, crying, begging. Terrified, she went to a social worker, told them everything. The police investigated. At the apartment, they found torture devices, blood, and finally, the Hello Kitty doll. Inside, Fan's skull. In court, the horror unfolded. Photos, testimonies, forensic evidence. The prosecution couldn't prove exact cause of death, so murder didn't stick. Instead, they were convicted of manslaughter, false imprisonment, and preventing lawful burial. They received life sentences, eligible for parole after 20 years. Hong Kong was furious. Justice felt unfinished. Locals believed it was haunted. Tenants who moved in reported nightmares, cold spots, screams in the walls. The 14-year-old girl entered witness protection, her identity sealed. She lived somewhere in hiding, still haunted by her role. Fan's young son was placed in foster care. He never knew the truth, that his mother's life was erased, then hidden in a child's toy. It was a message to the forgotten, to the poor, to the voiceless. You don't matter, but Fan Man-yee does matter. Her story matters. She didn't die in silence.